Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo 7. I'm back with a track guide at the new layout, Watkins Glen in Group 3. We're driving on the racing soft tyres for this track guide because it is the soft tyres that you'll be using in Nations and you're also using them in this week's daily race. So this is like double benefit for this track guide. So if this does help you out, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comment section if it's helped you out, how much it's improved you. And yeah, the aim of these videos is to try and give you as many tips as possible. Now, lap time, we did this last night on Nations time trial. There was a few little mistakes in there. I do think I can get into the 1:40 40s with the Genesis X. We're obviously driving it, like I say, we're on the racing soft tyres, BOP on, default setups. And for the race, on daily race, you're using the soft and medium tyres. You're splitting that either 4-6, so 4 on the soft or 6 on the medium, or 5-5. I prefer 5-5, it seems to give you better pace on the mediums. For the Nations race, you have to use all the tyres, soft, medium and hard, and that's got slightly lower rate of tyre wear. So that's going to be pretty similar to this. So yeah, hopefully this guide is going to be a massive benefit to all of you and help you improve your times for not only Daily Race C, but also the Nations race that is approaching soon. So in terms of cars that you can use for this race, it does look like the Genesis and the BMW M6 are the two main go-to cars in time trial. Now, they're very similar. Whether you look at Nations and the Genesis is at the top, and if you look at Daily Race C this week, it's close between the Genesis and the M6. I think the M6 is definitely competitive, so you might want to give that car a go. But let's get on with this track guide, try and help you out as much as possible, and try and improve your lap time to start as high up on that grid as we can. So, starting your lap, we're going to be obviously trying to get a nice solid exit. We're actually doing this lap live, so you can see we've done up to 10 laps here, and this is our 11th lap, and we're about to start our 12th lap. So try and get a solid exit off the final corner, and going into turn 1, you're going to be looking for the number 2, the 200 board in front of you there. 200 board, braking just in front of that will give you a nice braking reference. Now, braking a little bit early also gives you the ability to give better exit speed. So you see, onto the brakes just before the 200 board, and now we're going to be throwing it into this corner. And you want to get it quite close to the curb. You want to try and square this car off to get exit speed though, because the exit speed is so important out of this corner. So as we come through here, on the throttle very early, use the full width of the track. Now your right hand tyre, the track limit is the edge of that curb. If you go past that edge of that curb, you're going to get a penalty. So keep your right hand tyre just inside the curb and you should be okay. And also that's utilising the full width of the track to give you as much exit speed as possible. Through here, it's completely flat out. Just try and keep your steering inputs as gentle as possible. With the Genesis, you're shifting just as the red bar fills up to the end. You're going to change gear just before the end of that red bar. Now, like I say, smooth inputs all the way through here. It might sound silly, but you can gain half a tenth by just being smooth on inputs. So make sure you're doing that. All the way up into the next braking reference now. And again, we're going to brake in between the 300 and the 200 board. So as we come through here, you're going to see the 200 board in front of us. Just there. Now you can see the braking going on now, right in the middle pretty much of the 300 and the 200. Quite late into this corner, attacking it in 5th gear. You get aimed to get as close to the barrier on the right hand side as you can. You can almost clip it if you get it right. And then we're going to try and take some of the curb off on the second part of the bus stop chicane. So over the first part, onto the second part. Now, you really want to stay narrow as you can to this left-hand grass. However, I hit this curb a little bit wrong, gets a bit unsettled, and you can see we're going to miss the line a little bit. We're going to lose the 10th or so. So really, you want to be going over that curb and taking the middle of the car over the curb and then getting on the throttle early. And because of the line we took, the car's now drifting a bit, and we probably lost 10th and a half there, but you can see a little bit of braking input put in because I took a bit of a dodgy line through there, and that's just to get the weight rotation back onto the front of the car, because this corner is all about keeping the car into that apex so you can get on the throttle as early as possible. So using the full track width again, you can get out quite wide on that exit, and then using the 200 board on your right hand side. So again, the 200 board there on your right hand side is a perfect reference for your braking. So on the brakes, dead on the 200 board, and again, keeping the car quite narrow into this apex, down to 3rd gear, and you can see, as we go into the corner, you can see, let that trail braking go in, and then you're going to lift off and then on the throttle early. Now, this is all about throttle and how early you can get on it. The better the apex, the earlier you get on that throttle, the more exit speed you're coming out the corner. I run again a little bit wide, lose half a tenth or so there, but again, we get away with it. Into the next braking reference, we're braking dead on that, well, in between the 100 and the 200 board. You can see just before the 100 board, and again, trying to keep the car narrow. Now, I've been doing it down to 2nd gear, then 3rd gear. I think that's a better way of doing it, but we did this lap last night, so you might want to go to 2nd gear, then up to 3rd gear, and be very cautious on your acceleration through the exit of that corner, because it's very easy to spin up the Genesis. It almost wants to kill you at any opportunity, so be very, very cautious with that throttle. Next braking reference, we're going to brake just past the 200 board. So a little bit past the 200 board, then onto the brakes, and keep the car in a straight line, and then take quite a late apex again. You're going to turn in quite late here because you want to, again, get that exit speed from this corner. So down to second gear, a little bit of throttle goes in on the second gear. You see a little bit of throttle in, then up to third gear early to get that traction. And again, use some of the track weight. You can actually get a little bit further out than what I did there. Next braking reference, just before the 100 board on the right hand side. That's a very good reference to use. Make sure you're braking just short of it though. Don't brake on it because you can then understeer wide with this off cambered corner. So again, with this off cambered corner, you want to keep the car as close to the left apex as possible. Upshift to third gear, and again, be very careful on the throttle through this. This corner is a killer. This is a corner that will take you out because if you're on the throttle too early, you spin it up. Now the next left-hand corner, this is a very fast, aggressive corner. You're braking just short of the 100 board on the right-hand side, and you're already turning in at this point. So you're already turning in before you're getting on the brakes, and you've got to be very aggressive on the throttle to carry the speed on the exit. So again, use the curb on the right-hand side, and then as soon as you're on the curb, you're going to try and swing that car to the left to get it back in for the final corner. So getting it back over to the left-hand side, and then use the barrier changes width there. You can see it where the circle is. That's your braking reference. You see just as we're dead on that. And now from here, it's all about carrying the speed through this final corner. So you're going to take, again, getting the car into the apex, but you want to get on that throttle super early. So as you're approaching here now, you can see the line that we want to throw in over the yellow line, touching the curb almost. And really you want to get on the fourth gear a little bit earlier than what I've done there. Maybe a little bit hesitant to get in fourth gear to carry the speed on the exit, but getting in fourth gear nice and early there would give you a bit more momentum to the finishing line. We go over the finishing line for a 1:40.1.2, which it's not a terrible lap, but there's a lot of room for improvement. So hopefully I can get that into the 1:40s with a little bit of practice. But again, we're going to watch that lap from the chase camera and try and point out some stuff again. Early on the brakes here, you might want to go down to second gear, then third gear, then up to fourth gear. You see how that rear right-hand tire just about stays on the curb? That is your track limit. If you go over that there, you're going to get a penalty, so always bear that in mind. And now a good trick is, if you do feel the car running wide in third gear, get it into fourth gear early. It just helps the car from understeering and will maybe avoid you a penalty that could be very costly in the race as well. So through here again, you can see you can really attack this corner again over the curb. Just be cautious you don't take too much off the second part of the chicane there. That's where you can lose a lot of time. You see I got a little bit messy through there, lost maybe a tenth or so, but managed to recover it. You can actually run quite far wide on that exit there and use some of the curb, but again on that number 2 board, then keeping it nice and tight to the apex here. Early on the throttle, you're going to see here I've got a little bit too aggressive on the throttle, nearly went onto the grass, but again maybe losing half a temp, so there's time to be gained there. And then this corner again, second gear can be used to help bite it into the apex, so a little shift down to second gear, then back up to third gear for traction can really help with the rotation through the corner, so bear that in mind for that corner as well. Into this corner again, this is all about braking in a straight line and then getting it into the apex, a little bit of throttle, then up to third gear. Did that reasonably well, kept it well within the track limit, so there was a little bit more time in terms of pushing on the exit. And then here again, this is a tricky corner, one of the trickiest corners on the track, that left hand corner there, because if you push too much you go onto the curb and then you can lose it on the curb. Many things can go wrong on that corner. So again, through here, this is all about carrying speed and momentum. Final corner, downshift to third gear. You really want to get on the throttle a little bit early in what I did and get into fourth gear early. See, I had plenty of space on that wall there. So if you really nail it, you can carry a good few miles per hour extra through that corner and gain a little bit more time. But hopefully this track guide will help you out. Let me know in the comments if it does, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And yeah, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you all for more videos and live streams soon. Thanks again, everyone.